Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive, your personal shortcut to the fascinating stories hidden just beneath the surface. Today, we're really digging into things, not just recounting events. We're looking at two cases that, honestly, they really challenge how you see identity, loyalty, all that stuff. Our mission really is to guide you through these intricate webs, connect the dots so you see what truly matters when the truth finally, shakes out.
Exactly. We've pulled together a lot of material here, and it lays bare how these carefully built realities can just shatter, and how chasing what seems like a simple answer can unravel this whole complex mess of hidden identities, family secrets, huge risks. Think of us as your guides, helping you see not just what happened, but maybe why it hits home for all of us.
Yeah. You're going to hear this incredible story about a huge Hollywood director. He spends a decade looking for his family, the ones he left behind, and then unearths this shocking secret life, like something he could never have pictured. And then, stick around, because we'll give you a little sneak peek into our next deep dive, another look at those unexpected shadows, even in relationships you think you know inside out. Ooh. Okay, let's really get into this first one. So our first deep dive, we're calling it Lullaby Town. It starts with Peter Alan Nelsen. They called him the King of Adventure. I mean, this guy wasn't just breaking records. He was setting a whole new standard. Third most successful director ever, apparently. Pulled in, $1.2 billion worldwide? Just 6 pictures. He went from parking cars to running studios almost overnight.
Total Hollywood legend story. But the sources, they paint a different picture too, don't they? Behind the genius, Peter is, let's just say, demanding, volatile. This is the guy who'd apparently kick over a Harley in his office. Or spit M&Ms at a producer.
Right. And what's really striking is how that professional power, it seems totally disconnected from his personal life, his emotional intelligence maybe. He's got this massive, $40 million film production hanging in the balance, right? And suddenly, almost on a whim it feels like, he decides he has to find his ex-wife, Karen Shipley, and their son, Toby. Hasn't seen them in 10 years.
Yeah, it's this sudden, really intense need for connection. Or maybe it's a sudden realization that, hey, part of my giant pile of money should legally go to my kid. It feels less like genuine fatherly feeling and more like, well, another demand from someone used to getting exactly what he wants when he wants it.
That's a really good point. So even with all his resources, he's coming from this place of need, but maybe a self-centered need.
Yeah.
And his memory of Karen, based on old audition tapes, his own stories, it's pretty dismissive. He calls her giggling and naive. He even says he wasn't into the family scene, almost like justifying leaving her when she got pregnant. So this is the woman our detective has to find. A ghost from a past Peter kind of wants to rewrite.
So the detective starts what looks like a standard missing persons job, but hits a wall immediately. No credit cards under her old names, no phone, nothing for a whole decade. It's like she just dropped off the grid deliberately, wiped herself clean.
Yeah, it's classic, isn't it? Someone really wants to vanish. They cut all those public ties, forces the detective back to basics like old school clues.
In that digging, it pays off, but in a really unexpected way. The first real lead comes from Karen's old landlady, Miriam Deichester. Turns out, Karen stepped out on 3 months' rent when she disappeared. But, and this is interesting, she later sent a money order from Chelam, New York, to pay it back 22 months later.
Wow. That small thing, years later.
Oh.
It tells you something fundamental about her character, doesn't it? Even when she hit rock bottom, there was still this, sense of obligation.
Absolutely. And that tiny thread leads to this huge discovery in Chelam. A local boarding house owner, May Erdick, she identifies Karen, but not as the giggling actress Peter described. Oh no, she's Karen Lloyd. Highly respected bank manager, 2-time PTA president, vice president of the local Rotary Club.
Wait, seriously, a completely new life.
Yeah.
Successful, respectable.
Totally. Meticulously built, and completely the opposite of Peter's memory. So when the detective first confronts her, shows her the old photo, she's cool, poised, denies everything. No connection to Peter Nelsen, no connection to LA. You can just imagine the tension in that room. Her whole life balanced on a knife edge. The sheer willpower.
It's powerful, right? That clash. Who she was, who she became. But, these carefully built lives, they can only take so much pressure. Karen's confession, when it finally comes, it's chilling. She is Karen Shipley Nelsen, and she's been laundering money for the DeLuca Mafia family to protect herself and Toby. Suddenly, the 10 years of silence, the new identity, it all clicks into place.
Yeah.
Terrifyingly, the immense pressure she's under is just laid bare.
Yeah, it reveals these harrowing circumstances she's been juggling for years. She was recruited by Sal DeLuca himself, the capo di capo,
Well,
the boss of bosses. His word is absolute. And the intimidation, brutal, psychologically damaging. Sal's son, Charlie DeLuca, he apparently once urinated on her office carpet, just to assert control, to remind her who's boss.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, so our detective sees it clearly. Karen isn't a bad person. Not at all. She's trapped, a survivor, desperately trying to keep some control over her life and, most importantly, protect her son from all this. Makes you wonder, what choices any of us would make in that situation. Extreme duress.
It paints a terrifying picture. Completely shatters that naive actress image Peter had. Reveals this woman pushed to the absolute limit. And what's really brilliant here is how our detective and his partner Joe Pike, they don't just stop at she's laundering money, they dig deeper. They analyze the bank records looking for patterns.
Right, and they find two very distinct things going on. Regular large deposits from someone called Harry into 7 different accounts, standard stuff maybe, but then irregular smaller deposits from Charlie Sal's son into just one single 8th account.
Different patterns. Why?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And the insight they get is crucial. Harry's funds, probably the main DeLuca family business, but Charlie's private account, it looks like he's skimming, siphoning off funds for himself, double-crossing his own family.
Wow. Okay, that's not just bad. In their world, that's huge. Massive betrayal.
Exactly. It's leverage, huge leverage. And more digging, using contacts like Roland George, this ex-cop mob source, reveals Charlie's dealing illicitly with a Jamaican gangster, Santiago. Santiago also runs a call girl, Gloria Riba, who's linked to Charlie. Now, the thing is, the traditional Italian families, like the DeLucas and the Gambosas, they absolutely do not mix with other gangs. It's a code. So Charlie's actions are not just a massive dishonor to the family for dealing with outsiders, it's a direct threat to a fragile peace. Specifically, this drugs for labor deal they had with the rival Gambosa family, he's risking a war.
So you've got this ticking time bomb of mafia politics. And that's when Peter Alan Nelsen decides to show up in Shalom, completely oblivious, makes this huge public entrance.
Well, yeah.
Full Hollywood spectacle. 2 limos, an entourage with his assistant Donnie, these 2 big bodyguards, Nick and TJ, and he immediately tries to just buy his way into Toby's life.
Wow.
Lavish gifts, expensive snowmobile, pro video camera setup. He literally tells the kid, your life is going to undergo enormous improvement. Ugh. Pure Hollywood arrogance. Totally clueless about the danger Karen's actually in. It's that classic thing, right? Thinking money solves everything, even, the mob.
And this big, flashy arrival, it immediately triggers a response, a chilling one. Charlie DeLuca, who clearly knows the detective is getting close to Karen, sends a terrifying message. He deliberately runs over Toby's bike at school, crushes it. Then, with this, fake kindness, he kindly buys him a new one.
Oh, man. That's cold.
It's a crystal clear message. We can get to your son. We know where he is. Anytime. It's meant to crush any hope Karen had of getting out clean.
You can just feel Karen's fury boiling over. Peter's arrogance, his, blind privilege. She can't stand it. There's this raw moment she actually slaps Peter, calls him an arrogant asshole. She's fighting him off, rejecting his attempts to control her life, Toby's life, trying to erase the identity she fought so hard for. The detective sees her conflict so clearly. He thinks you're scared, but it isn't Charlie DeLuca who scares you. But now goes Peter, and you're scared that it won't be yours anymore.
Yeah, it perfectly captures that fear, losing the control, the stability she'd built, even under the mafia's thumb. She'd almost rather face the devil she knows than this guy trying to buy her back.
So the stakes are sky high. Toby's safety, Karen's freedom, this whole DeLuca empire is shaky because of Charlie. And that's when the detective and Pike make their move. They go straight to Sal DeLuca.
They lay it all out. Charlie skimming, the double cross with the Gambosas, the dangerous link to the Jamaicans. Sal's reaction, exactly what you'd expect from the capo. Pure fury. He sees it as this profound dishonor to the family. He brutally beats Charlie. The description is just steady, rhythmic shots. And then swift, terrifying justice. He orders Rick, Charlie's bodyguard who knew about it all, executed, shoots him once, chest, done.
Wow. So the resolution comes from within that brutal logic. Karen and Toby are freed from the mafia entanglement.
Yes, they're out. Karen gets to keep her life, her identity, the bank job in Chalam. She's safe from them. But there's a tragic cost. A heavy one. Danny, Peter's assistant, she was killed earlier, caught in the crossfire when the detective first confronted DeLuca's men.
Oh no. So Peter's arrival, his meddling, it indirectly led to her death.
You could argue that, yeah. And Peter, he's forced to accept a cover story about Danny's death. Sal DeLuca makes it clear. Expose anything about the Mafia, about Karen's past, to the cops or media, and the protection for Peter, Karen, and Toby disappears. Retaliation would be swift. It's this brutal wake-up call for Peter. His Hollywood bubble bursts. He's forced to confront real deadly consequences. Not like in his movies.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How much power can actually blind you to the damage you leave behind? And what's the real cost of finally getting what you thought you wanted?
It's a stark ending. Even the happy part, Karen's freedom, it's stained by that loss, the ripple effects. They claimed an innocent life. So the dust settles on Lullaby Town, leaves you thinking about survival, sacrifice, and what protecting your own really means.
Right. And just when you think maybe our detective gets a breather, nope, another call comes in. Another urgent case, and this one feels even closer to home somehow. So here's that sneak peek we promised, a case we're calling Freefall. It's going to be our next full deep dive. We meet Jennifer Sheridan. She's deeply in love with her fiancé, Mark Thurman. Mark's an LAPD officer. Plainclothes are SET unit. It's like specialized rapid response, right? Often undercover high-stakes stuff. And Jennifer says, I know him better than anyone else in all the world. They've known each other since they were kids. 7th grade. A lifetime.
But her reason for hiring the detective is deeply personal and worrying. Mark has changed, she says. He's irritable, withdrawn. She has this gut feeling he's involved in something dangerous, something off. But she has no proof, nothing concrete, just intuition. That feeling you get when you know someone that well. Our detective, he's initially a bit skeptical, maybe. But he feels for her, her conviction about the man she loves.
And then, bam, the immediate twist. Right there. It sends chills down your spine. As Jennifer is sitting there, pouring out her fears, describing Mark's weird behavior, our detective looks across the street. And he spots Mark Thurman and his partner, Floyd Riggins. And they are watching Jennifer, surveilling her.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's this instant gut-wrenching flip. Everything she fears, it's suddenly pointed back at her. It reveals this layer of deception, secrecy, challenges everything she thought she knew about the man she's about to marry. The hunter becomes the hunted, right there.
Okay, what's really fascinating looking at both these deep dives is how they peel back those layers, right? Beneath the polished surfaces people present, whether it's the hidden life of a small-town bank manager tangled with the mob, or the secret struggles of this decorated cop who's now apparently investigating his own fiancée. The truth is just rarely simple, is it? It raises this really unsettling question for all of us, I think. How well do we really know the people closest to us? Our partners, our family, our friends? What secrets might they be keeping? Maybe even, to protect themselves. Or maybe even to protect us.
Yeah. These stories, they're powerful reminders, aren't they? Everyone's got a story much richer, way more complex than what you see on the surface. Lullaby Town showed us these huge sacrifices for family, the heavy price of a new identity, and that dangerous game of uncovering crime. And that quick look at Freefall, it leaves us right on the edge, wondering, what is the truth behind Jennifer's gut feeling? And what is Mark Thurman's surveillance going to reveal about the man she thought she knew better than anyone? Makes you question not just who people are, but who they become under pressure. And maybe, which secrets are actually worth keeping?